In a society of mass incarceration, everybody's a political prisoner, and I think there's an argument for that. I don't mean political prisoner in the sense of being imprisoned for your opinions, but there is a broader sense of politics which is involved in thinking about a society of mass incarceration and thinking about the number of people who are incarcerated in this society, the length of time they're incarcerated for, and what broader political functions the history of that, what Stuart Hall used to call it, law and order society, what that serves. And I think that is a political question.
Doesn't matter if you agree, I'm afraid.
Sorry?
That's the law, you see.
Sorry, what's the
Same. That you are not allowed to photograph that prison unless you have specific permission. You're not allowed to film that prison. You want to turn around and face that way, feel free. But while you're facing that way, you can't. You're not allowed to photograph a public building, government building.
I don't think that's true.
But it is true.
I don't think you're right.
Whatever.
Right, okay, this is Crown property, okay.
So you need permission for
permission. You need permission to film any prison.
What have you actually filmed, sir?
You were seen to film in through the gates, through the grill. So you've been filming.
We need to establish what you've been filming, the security.
No, we don't.
So I want to know what you've been filming first of all.
I don't need to speak to you.
Okay, we'll just call the police and it's not...
Yeah, what we'll do is we'll ask the police to come and have a look at what you filmed. What I'm telling you is, alright, you cannot stand there and film the jail. If I have reason to suspect that you're filming the jail and that will breach our security standards, I will call the police and ask them to deal with you. Okay? That's the position. So what I'm saying to you is, make it easy for yourself, don't film the jail.
The idea of an emergency actually starts to come much closer to the way that people live their lives day by day. The emergency starts to become the rule. So we never get out of emergency. We're in a situation of continual emergency, and that has real consequences, both for policing and for the mission of police, but also even bigger consequences when the question of security becomes the trump question, the principal focus of governmental intervention. You know, when we cease to be concerned just about security, and we end up living in a securitocracy.
Why would I be so forceful in wanting to hide something or wanting people to leave a place alone if I didn't have anything to hide? You know, if I didn't have something to hide.
Judge turned around and said, alright, he's remanded until his next court case. So obviously, like I said, I turned around, I said to them, what does remand mean? They go, you're going to be held in prison. I said, I don't want to go to prison. Like, they go, you ain't got a choice, you have to go. So when I went back downstairs into the court cells, I started thinking to myself, like, Raoul, you're going to prison now. What are you going to do? You know what I mean? Like, I ain't gonna lie. My heart now started beating fast. Then I was thinking, shit man, I just want to wake up. I just hope this is a dream. Like, I hope I got hit in the head or something in the right, you know what I mean? I was thinking this is just a dream. I was thinking any minute now, man, just wake up man, you've been attacked. Like, this is all a dream. But it was real. And then next thing, the circle of people come and said, the bus is ready, you're going to your prison. So I said to them, where am I going? They said to me, I'm going Wormwood Scrubs. So I told my ex-partner to give that, basically my details and that. And yeah, I entered. As soon as I entered there, I see everyone, all the prisoners and that, everyone banging on the windows and that. And I thought to myself, fuck, like, this is it now, I'm fucked now, basically. Like, what am I gonna do? It's my first time, I don't know what to do.
Prisons are a huge industry. Prisons are an awful place. People who work in prisons, I think they get away with a lot of human rights abuses. And I guess from the outside looking in, I could be someone who's saying something about this prison and about some of the atrocities that I know are going on inside, that we all know are going on inside. I think prisons are, I think deep down, people know that prisons are an awful and wrong place. Deep down, it doesn't matter how long you've worked there, it doesn't matter if you've enforced it, you know that it's a wrong place. So that's why they don't allow you to film outside, never mind inside, because they don't want you to see. they don't want you to know.
Gone to get sentenced now. I'm thinking, everyone's saying to me, don't worry, you'll be alright, you get 15 months, 20 months max. So I'm going there thinking I'm only going to get that, expecting that, and I've gone there, and the judge turned around and said to me, you know what, I was going to give you 6 years today, you guys, but only because of certain things you said. Like, I said to him, I'm trying to keep out of trouble and all that kind of stuff, you got to say that. So only because of that, you guys, I'm giving you 30 months. That's for everything, for the bank thing, the petrol bombing and all that. So basically I got 30 months, so I had to do 15 months. Bad experience really. There's lots of fights in there. See some nasty shit happening there. I got sliced in my face in prison. On my face there. On my arm, on the side of my head. Got into a couple fights, yeah.
Once you're through the gates, you've got this gentleman standing out there, he's like, don't make any moves, you're not a hard man, go through. And then we all followed through, and that's when everyone got, how would I put it, everyone's got given a prisoner number, that's how you want to put it. And it's another lengthy process to take on. They take your fingerprints, you know, pictures, date of birth. Once they took that, they make you sit on a chair, check that if you've got anything in your anus, for example mobile phones or drugs, and then once you're checked with that, they give you your prisoner number, and then that's when basically prison life starts really.
I went on to B-Wing in Scrubs. I was there with one Asian boy, so it was my cellmate. We was alright for like 2-3 days, and then the third day he woke up in the morning, like basically put the TV on, but he put the volume up full blast, innit? So obviously I woke up and I said to him, like, listen mate, can you turn it down? And obviously he turned around and said to me, what? I said, listen, turn it down, have some respect, I'm sleeping. Told me, get out of the bed. So I got out of the bed, I'm thinking, fuck, like this is prison, like, everything started now, I'm like, what the fuck, you know what I mean? So obviously I got out of my bed, he grabbed me, pushed me against the wall, I pushed him back, basically we started scruffing and that. And I headbutted him, he fell backwards, and by then the govs come, split us up. I ended up getting changed to another wing, and then I went to A wing.
Once you get into these cells, I mean, it's disgusting. Some of the state of these cells, it's really small. I mean, it's pretty too small for 2 people. Most of the prisons are designed for 1 person in each cell, but they've obviously bunked up 2 people, and you've got a toilet which is right next to your head.
Like, you're in a room with a male, you know what I mean? Like, no female. And, like, you gotta eat in your cell, like, you gotta eat in your room basically, you gotta shit in there. You gotta shit and wipe your ass, whatever, in front of your cellmate, and that. It's just fucked up.
Freedom, you know, it's too much for a human. Especially if you're trying to stay inside 4 walls.
Like, you don't realise until you go to prison, like, to not take your freedom for granted, because it can just go in a split second, and being in prison is not the one.
Freedom, you know, that's that's probably the most powerful, most precious thing someone could take from someone. Freedom.
And all you're doing there is just think, you drive you mad. All you're doing is all day, just think. And stress, that's all you do, think, stress.
What did you think about?
When I had my partner, I was thinking, what's she doing? Is she cheating on me? Is she gonna be faithful? Is she gonna wait for me? Is she gonna help me? Thinking of my stepkids, thinking of my sisters, my mum, my baby sister. Thinking of a couple of my boys, just thinking about what I could be doing right now on the road, what could they be doing.
It's just a very strange atmosphere. I've never been to this prison before, so Yeah, I mean, it's not. No prison is pleasant, but when you're just being outside, it has an atmosphere. It really does. It has an atmosphere, and it's dark. Really, really nasty.
They'll make you suffer in prison as well. They got their own little ways of making you suffer. They'll leave you in your cell without TV for weeks. They done it to me, 3 months. They put me on basic. I had no TV for 3 months. They would only let me out twice a week for a shower, that's it. It wasn't like that, no exercise, nothing. And you're the last one to go out for dinner. And when you're the last one, you just basically got the leftovers. And you ain't even got a choice, basically. Like for me, for example, you're Muslim, there's bacon or something like that and it's not halal. You have to eat it, you ain't got a choice. Or you're starving and just make yourself ill, you know what I mean? Like, trust me, police, all them kind of people, they're the govs, screws, whatever you want to call them. They take the piss out of you and they make out like they're there to help you, they're not. They take the piss out of you.
My mum was in prison, okay, so, and she was a really, really expressive person, but having gone in for the 8 months that she was in, that expression depleted rapidly. It wasn't a gradual thing, it was rapid.
I forgot a lot of things as well going in prison. Like, it fucked up a lot bit of my memory. I forgot a lot of people. Yeah. Like even people I knew needed my whole life, and I'd see them when I got out. I used to speak to them, I used to feel like embarrassed to speak to them and shy and stuff like that. But now, it's been like over a month now I've been out. So I feel like I'm myself again now. Come back to myself. Try and keep out of trouble. Hopefully I don't go back to prison again, innit? Keep to my appointments, probation, that's it.
There is a kind of living death involved, I suppose you'd say. You know, I mean, there are connections between the development of these forms of punishment and the loss of a certain kind of life and freedom. But I wouldn't say, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if there's a connection to mourning or grieving, but the fact is, someone was there and they're not there, but they're not dead actually. And there's a different kind of relationship that you have with them. Maybe we need to say that they're suffering and that you need to have to find a way of relating to their suffering that's particular. And those families need support, and that's part of the defense of those people, to see those things are connected. I'm an abolitionist, actually. I don't think that locking people up in prison does them any good at all, and is, for me, a completely independent activity that is very different from the question of managing peace and managing law and order. The prison has a kind of life of its own now, as a corporate thing, as a money-making machine for some people. There are lots of things to be said about prisons and about a society of mass imprisonment, which are quite specific and nothing to do really with anything that's serious about crime or law.